So coming to you from What's Up Guy Garage, and we're in the closet. The light right here has been a problem for quite some time. You can't really, I don't know, the camera auto adjusts so you can't really see it. It's actually pretty dim in here. My wife, at times when she goes to turn this on, she has to like jump up and, you know, tap the light, and it's just time to go. It's as old as the house. What I ended up doing is those same lights that are in my garage. Boom. Whoa. So that light right there is going to go in that closet. It's definitely going to help illuminate the situation. So, welcome to What's Up Guy Garage. What we're going to need here to go ahead and get this done: nice OSHA approved 2-foot step ladder, some electrical tape, needle nose pliers, an electrical outlet, a regular screwdriver, safety glasses. I'm bringing my power driver with a Phillips bit on it, keyhole saw, an old work box or a remodel box, which is what this is called. And what this means is that I'm going to be cutting a hole through my drywall in the ceiling, and I'm going to actually install an outlet. It has these little tabs, and as you screw that Phillips bit right there, it kind of slings out this little arm and then pulls it in towards the back side of the drywall. And then these ears that are located on the top and bottom of this box, they basically affix this box to the drywall. And a pencil. I just gotta find one. So the way I'm gonna go about doing it: set up your ladder. Two ways you can cut the power. Hit the switch, which obviously cuts the power, or go over to your fuse panel and cut the power at the fuse panel. I'm opting to just cut it at the switch. I'm actually going to use the new light as my illumination source. Put it someplace where it's not going to fall over. Just going to disassemble the light. So this might not be the same as yours, but I'll just show you how I'm going to do it. See? Safety glasses. So just give your bulb a twist, pull it down, place it in a safe spot. And on mine, there's a little clip right here. And I know that what I do is I turn that little clip, and then it releases this panel. And take that panel and put it someplace safe. Get rid of that pencil, don't need it right now. So then what you can see is white is your common wire, black is your power wire. You want to take your tongue and you want to stick it to the wires, just kidding. So, and then what you can do is you can see up and inside. So here's your black power wire, here's your white wire, and this is why right here that I was telling you that for mine, I'm actually going to be putting an outlet in the ceiling. One of the things about me is I like things to be symmetrical. So the light is pretty much lined up with that door. But I'm not going to be installing the light this way. I'm actually installing the light this way. So we're actually going lengthwise into the closet. So instead of having a small little 2-foot light right there, we're going to have a 4-foot light going there. And then when you look up here, you can see, if you line up the door frame to where the wire is coming through the ceiling, right there, you can see that it's offset. It's toward the right side. And my light is basically going to be sitting right in this section right here. And then it's going to extend out back towards, you know, that back side of the closet. All I have to do right now is disconnect the ground. We have no power at these wires because the switch is off. I'm going to unscrew that screw right there. If this is focusing right, you can see that that's a regular screw. Same as that, a regular screw. And then the ground, which is this green one right here, that's a Phillips. That's the first thing that we're going to do, is disconnect this stuff. Just quickly undo that ground. The ground is usually wrapped around, at least it should be wrapped around. So you can see that ground is disconnected right now. Now I'm just going to place that in a safe spot. Release the wire nuts here. Undo them both. And then take the screwdriver and unscrew this light. Hold of, looks like they grabbed a hold of the strapping on this. Wow, they make a big hole for that. Maggots. So it looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of touch-up paint as well. Maybe a little spackle too. Jeez. Some people, man, just hacks. Screwing into the roof or what? Then what you'll see is on the back side, if this was done right, you've got the little conduit or wire clamp right there. And that's a regular screwdriver. And we'll go ahead and unscrew that. What that does is it clamps the wire into place. So we're not going to be needing that. Be able to throw that in the electrical box. A little extra piece. Yeah. Doing this, obviously, the other thing that you're going to need when you're done is a vacuum. I didn't mention that as a tool. Insulated, nice. Okay. Those holes I will have to patch. So now I'll show you what that remodel box or old work box, they call it. So that's basically going to install this way, up and inside that hole. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Push the wire up and inside for now. Not all the way, but just enough so that it's out of your face. Take the old work box or remodel box. And what you're going to want to do is pretty much, at least for this situation, I'm going to center it within the hole that's already there and estimate it like this. I'm going to line it. Line it right there. And all you're doing is you're creating your cutout for where you're going to be installing this box. Basically just drawing what this box is. And it's pretty much in line with that doorway. Looks pretty straight. Then you can take your keyhole saw and saw into, obviously be careful of these wires, let's just pull them down so we don't chafe them. And then saw into the sheetrock, following the lines that you just made. So on this, I'm going to show you something. So what I'm going to do is instead, because of that situation, I'm going to go sideways with this box. And I've already got a cutout partially done, so I'm going to leave that alone and just draw my lines that I can see sideways here. And we'll just change the way this is being done. And this is sheetrock, drywall, whatever you call it. So just plunge it in and cut away and make a mess. Just be careful of your wire. You can see there's that little cutout right there that I want to mimic. When you look at the box, you can see that this little arm is going to flip out, right? It's going to flap out. Well, it's got like this little guide right here, and then on the opposite side there's a guide as well. So what I'm going to do is just extend my hole a little bit past that so this is incorporated. You can see that that fits in there nice. I'm not going to have to actually do any real paint work. So now you're going to want to pull your wires down Make sure you got all your wires. On these boxes, they have these little breakout tabs. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to punch in one of these tabs so that you can feed your wire through. So, just break that out. So you can see right inside of here, I think you can see, I broke out one of the little tabs. And that wire is going to feed in through this way. Just like this. And I like to actually capture the insulation on this, just a touch. Take the box, throw it back in there, make sure it's in forward, and then for this, you can hear it once the drill is done, nice and tight. So what I like to do on these outlets right here, so you can see that the screws are totally unscrewed. And I'm only going to use one set. I'm going to fully screw in one on each side. And for me, I'm just going for the top. And then when you look at the way the outlet is, you can see you've got one larger side. That's what's called the common side, or the common, which is the white wire. So the white wire is going to be on this side, and your power wire, which is the black one, it's the smaller hole, is going to be on that side. And then obviously your ground is green, and I'm going to attach the ground. You can actually do it another way too. So if you look on the back side of this box, if you look on the back side of this outlet, you can see these little holes. They're actually designed to push the wires into those holes. It's kind of, I guess, like a speedy way to do it. So because these wires are already straight, I'm going to go ahead and just do it that way. So I'm going to screw in both sides instead. Screw it all the way in. Screw it all the way in on the other side. Bye bye. Love you too. So, remember, black on the small side. Push it in. Make sure it seats. White on the opposite side, which is the common wire, which is that larger side of the outlet. And then your ground. I'm going to actually put a little bit of a hook on that wire. And one of the ways that I've been taught, so the screw is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right? Or clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to loosen. So what I want to do is, because I'm going to be turning the screw clockwise, I actually want to take this ground wire and I want to put, I guess, kind of like a clockwise loop on it. So I'll show you what I mean. So just do like a loop that way. And the reason why is that if you were to loop it the other way, so if you would attach, so if you're attaching this wire this way, if you're attaching your wire this way, which I think you can see. So if you're attaching your wire this way, with the loop going the same way that you're going to be screwing, there's less of a chance of this wire backing out as you're screwing it. So if you were to spin that around and attach it this way, you can see what would happen is, as you're turning the screw this way, you know, going clockwise, it would actually take this hook and it would start to just weasel it out. Make sure you're turning the hook the right way. Connect it right into your ground. Take my needle nose pliers and just give it a little bit of a tweak. Take your screwdriver and crank it on down. Now, these wires are good. Keep things kind of separate from each other. Fold the wires kind of like up and in. So you can see up and inside there the way I'm folding the wires coming down, looping up, and then as I push the box in, it'll loop those, it'll, you know, compress the wires better. I'm just gonna grab the power driver because just make it easier on myself. Line up the screw hole, start with one side first, just get it in. And go with the other side, you're not cranking it down. And go for the other side. Now you can kind of just evenly toss it in. Boom, done. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the light. So I'm going to take the extension cord and I'm actually going to plug it into the light right here. Or I'm going to take the extension cord and I'm going to plug it right into the new outlet and then flip it on. And then look at that. So now we've got power. So the only other thing is you're going to need is an outlet cover. And I've got one right here. You will need a little bit of spackle for these holes here, and then you can take, like, you know, a sponge or whatever and then just do like a quick little drag on this ceiling. We have a light textured ceiling, and then do like a drag. I can kind of mimic what I see here for a pattern. Like, you can see that this is a swipe right here, and this one right here is actually a side swipe. So if I take just, you know, a regular sponge, I've got, you know, sponges that I keep in the garage from ones that my wife tosses that she doesn't want to use anymore, but they're perfect for the garage. And you just give it, you know, just like a little drag, and you can mimic what you're seeing pretty much on the ceiling, or you can just do it the right way and grab a trowel and trowel it on. But, you know, you do what you want. Just take the packaging off, and then you can see on these, it's got this metal shield. And the metal shield, it has, you know, screws that you can place in the ceiling so that you can attach, and it comes with all the hardware and everything that it needs. But you notice is it has these little hooks right here. So the other thing now that you need is drywall screws, and I'm using 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to fix them onto the ceiling. I'm going to do measure from left to right across the ceiling, get my center point, and then I'm going to come off a certain distance off of that outside wall, probably to attach to the strapping right there, or maybe just a little bit further out. We'll see. You take a tape measure and you center it into the hole over there, into right there, and you can see that the very center, it's actually 47 inches. First, I'm just going to measure off of here, and I know my strapping's right there. So I think I am going to go to that strapping. Now I'm going to get the overall width of the closet, and that's coming in at, I think I'm reading 68. So obviously half of 68 is 34. So then I'm going to do is mark 34 right there. Wear safety protection just in case. You just don't want to get anything in your eye. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the screw on the gun, and then just go to that center point, that crosshairs mark that I made, drive it in, nice and easy. And I'm going to leave it down, I'd say about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. And that's going to allow it to hook on. Hook my tape onto that screw, measure out to the other side, and I'm going to go 47 inches out, which is right there. So 34 1/4. Back to 47. And then again, just make sure you leave it, you know, 1/4 inch or 3/8 down. I'm taking these screws out because I don't want this guard on here, and I'll show you why. Now, because this is an LED light, the light is normally more directional. And it kind of is that way, but this light is actually designed, it has a diffuser over it, which helps diffuse the light a little bit better. But what I have found is that this guard, or this shield, it actually further blocks the light. So when you actually take this off, now you're left with basically just, the bulbs. And the LED strip runs right along this flat spot right here. And then what you do is you just have to be careful putting it up. It is easier definitely to have two people doing this, but the light is so light now, especially with this metal guard being gone. It's so lightweight that it doesn't really matter. And I'll set up the camera and we can check that out. And what I did is I lined up the screw that's the furthest away, and then you go ahead and put in the other one, and then grab it together and just push it towards, and you'll feel it like click in. The only other thing to do is to take this cord, and I'm actually gonna take the cord and wrap it around and then plug it into the new outlet. It's really flexible. You don't have to worry about, these lights moving. And then what I've done is you wrap it. That's what I did in the garage. Works perfect. And it stays right out of the way. There's no issue with pulling wires or anything. None of that stuff's gonna happen. Just keep wrapping until you're satisfied with how this is. This is that last wrap. And then I can take it and actually put it through the first wrap. And now you can just plug it in. That's all it is. It's just wrapping it. So now watch this. Light switch is off. On. Bam! Now look at that. Now you want to talk about some brightness? This is some brightness. This is mint. Now you can see everything in here. So there you go. Simple outlet install. And using those sweet, inexpensive Amazon LED 5000K 42 watt bulbs, or 42 watt LED shop lights. Look at that. That is mint. And the reason why I took that guard off is because now the light is actually reflecting off of the ceiling. And I don't know if you can tell. I can't tell, like, if the camera's auto, freaking out, auto adjusting, looking at me, but this is absolutely perfect. It's exactly what was needed in here. It's just like a quick little electrical, some kind of something from What's Up Guy Garage. Thanks for watching. Be safe. Yep. It's fogging up. For my situation, pretty sure.
Man, that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.